A massive day for us today. It's the first day in well over 3 years that we've actually lived in our own property. We bought this property some months ago. I've done a few videos about it. But it's been a long process between getting from the place we were renting in Paraguay and getting everything moved in and signing and sealing it all off. It was one of the biggest moves I've ever done. I don't know why. We just seem to have accumulated a lot of stuff and it took forever, but we're here. So it feels amazing to be on our own property, no landlord, no mortgage, just freedom. Something quite funny happened in the last week or so that I thought I'd just share with you because of all of the things that I've come across in Paraguay. This is one that sort of got past me and I thought it was really quite funny. It's typical Paraguayan and just something that anyone out there who has the intention to perhaps look for some land, this could be relevant to you. So a few days ago, I was out mowing some grass out the front of our place. We've got like a culvert out the front there and it was getting a little bit hairy. So just chopping it down and I happened to come across a brick. And bricks and size don't really go all that well together. So I thought, well, I'll just whack that over the fence because to take it all the way around, I'd have to walk like 20 metres. Unfortunately, what happened was I went to throw it over the fence, but it hit a branch of our mango tree, bounced back down and hit our water meter. And I thought this is an absolute disaster. But the first bit of luck was I actually dropped it in such a way that it broke the water meter on both sides. So luckily I wasn't being metered for that water. But I was left in a situation where there's just gallons and gallons of water gushing out. And I thought, what do I do here? So rushed down to the hardware store, got a few components, came back, then realised that I needed another component. Went back and of course it was siesta. So it was like this for a couple of hours. Unfortunately, my poor son got the job of sticking his finger in the pipe so we didn't lose too much water, but it was just bellowing out. So with all this, eventually the hardware store opened, I managed to get the component. And as I was putting it back together, the guys from the water supply agency here in town came along on their little tuk-tuk and they asked me what was going on because they had had complaints further up the line. Apparently I'd caused some water disruptions to some of the neighbouring properties, which I apologise for. But they were really cool. They helped me with the repair. And after we repaired the meter, we noticed that it was still ticking over like it was running. And one of these water guys said, look, you must have a leak somewhere. I said, no, definitely not. There's no leaks here. I'd know if we did. Well, we had a bit of a walk around. It just so happened the day before I had been doing a bit of digging around and I didn't know, but I'd actually just nicked a water pipe. And I thought, well, there you go. They're spot on the money. So we patched that up, went back to the water meter and it was still ticking over. And it wasn't just really ticking over. It was going like a mad thing, like someone was filling up a pool or something. And we're thinking, well, if all that water was coming out, we must be able to notice it. And the property isn't that big, so what can it be? So we did a bit of investigation. We checked all the line right up to the back of the property. And eventually, these guys were very switched on. They were very good at their job. And they said, you know what's happened here? There is an illegal connection to your property. And I said, how can that be? Seriously, have a look. It's all fenced. We've got it all secured. Surely we would have noticed if there was some random pipe connected to our water somewhere. So we just followed it along right back to the back of our property here. And sure enough, found this dodgy little hole with a shut-off valve that's like a tap in there, and the hose keeps going out in the back of the property and into the paddock there. So we turned that tap off and the meter stopped. So somewhere around here, there is someone getting some free water. Well, it's not free because we were paying for it, but now we've turned that off. Well, I'm looking for a neighbour who's got a garden that looks like it's dying from lack of water and they've got greasy hair, because that might give me a hint as to the tricky blighter who was pulling that caper. But suffice to say, we've sorted it out. We've turned off the tap, literally, and now our water leak is solved. Thankfully, water here isn't that expensive, so it hasn't been costing us an arm and a leg, but, you know, I wouldn't want to be subsidising my neighbour forever with water. But it got me thinking, and these water guys were really cool and very switched on. Though we're very skilled, because the plumbing components here are very different, and the way that you join them and do things with them are different to what I've been used to. But in addition to that, they clearly had a bit of a mind towards this phenomenon of water being connected illegally to properties. So that's just a tip for this video. Anyone that's looking to buy a property in Paraguay, if you've got a water supply anywhere, whether it's water on your own land or definitely if it's coming in from the municipality, you just want to check that your meter's not running when you're not running your water, because if it is, well, there you go. And I think if you had a bigger property, you'd also have to be looking out for illegal electrical connections too, while I think of it. That's something that I would imagine would be quite feasible and probably going on here and there. So there you have it, just a little caper that we need to be wise of if we're looking at having a property in Paraguay. There's been a few good twists and turns, a few things that we've done differently on the fly that I think have worked really well. And we're just delighted to be here. We've spent a couple of nights here and it's just been beautiful. It's nothing like being in your own place. So that's all I've got to report. Hope everyone's well out there, and until next time, take care. Ciao.
Soft, turn the key and cooler on. This a pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to